Okay, so our knot of the week here is the reef knot. It's also known as the square knot. So if you've ever had Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts where you had to learn knots, you probably would have learned it as a square knot. But on board a boat, we call it a reef knot. Mainly because this is the knot that we use when we reef sails. So when we're tying reef nettles together, which you can look that up, reefing sail, or look up even reef nettles. And I'm sure you can find something that'll kind of give you information as to what that means. But basically, it's tying two ends of a line together. So what we have is our two ends of a line here. And so in a reef knot, you would go right over left, like so, just like when you're tying your shoe. And for a reef knot, then you go left over right, just like so. Okay. So ideally, the bitter ends are on the same side. But this knot should have symmetry to it. So if you look, it kind of has, it's like two loops that are hitched together, like so. Okay. Now, oftentimes, the mistake people make is they tie what we call a granny knot. And it's not as strong, and it's more likely to bind when you want it to come undone, and it's more likely to come undone when you want it to bind. So a granny knot almost looks just like a reef knot, and that's if you were to tie it right over left, and then here also go right over left. And if you look, there's not the symmetry that you had before, so it doesn't have the two interlocking loops, and it doesn't function properly. So make sure, again, it's right over left, and then left over right, just like so. And again, look for that sort of symmetry of the two interlocking loops like that. So that's a reef knot. Now, what we often do when we reef sail is we tie what we call a slippery reef. Okay, give us a little bit more length in the ends of these lines. And so it's the same thing. The only thing is what we do is when we tie our left over right, we pull a bight of line through, like so. Okay. Oh, I just tied a granny knot. Okay, so we do this again. Do a left over right, and we pull just a bight of the line through, like so, and then just pull her up snug. Okay. It's the same knot. The only thing is I haven't pulled that bitter end all the way through, and I have that nice little loop there. Okay. So what that does is if this ends up getting really tight and we need to untie it quickly, all we got to do is just grab that end, pop it loose. And I had mentioned on one of the previous knot videos about how to think of it when you're doing a slippery knot. I think it was a clove hitch. So if you're having trouble just kind of visualizing it, when you do it, just fold that end of the line in half to turn it into just one line. Okay, just think of it that way. And then there's your slippery reef. Okay, so work on it. If you have any questions, just give me a call, send me a message, and I'm happy to clear anything up for you.